Hello and welcome. It's Ausmerican Aces AFL Show. I'm Tommy Sheridan, your host, and alongside me is Daisy Thomas, the man of the moment. You have been everywhere. I just drive down the street at the moment, and it's all about Daisy v. the Corn, but it's good to see you fresh off the Sydney trip, opening the round. Just good to have footy back. How are you, mate?
I'm very good, thank you, Tommy. It was a big week. Footy getting back, only the 2 games to get through because of the cyclone, so I feel like we have done them inside out, upside down. Early W for your boy too against the Corn last night.
I did see that, a very nice early. Did he concede?
I don't know if it was a concession, but close enough. We'll take it. So a W there, but there is a big week of footy coming. I've been pushing on the scrap the round 0. You're big for it. I think we can all agree that round 1 is a must.
Yeah, well, 9 games is much juicier than 2, but it's good for the growth of the game.
Where's Wall?
I was just about to get to that. Our man Wall, he's we're going to get to him later in the program, but he's in Noosa, and it sounds like it's a 50-50 play. We're going to cross to him live. He's going to cover 2 games, the Dogs v North, and he's also got the grand final rematch. And I'm hearing that the weather's been a bit inconsistent, so the research has been thorough.
Well, there, through the group chat, I wasn't sure if he was going to be in because of the weather. We touched on that last week. But this, I've got notes, 15 pages on both sides.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Does he know it's only a 3-minute live cross?
Boy.
He might be here till next week. We'll have to make sure. No, we need Muskie to just really just cut that down on ChatGPT and summarise his notes. But it's going to be, oh, mate, this week is massive. No, there is nothing bigger than the Thursday night game, the Blues taking on the Tigers. But we'll get to that later on, Daisy. We'll get to that. It's important that we get to the golf day. It was a huge success Friday. Yeah, it was.
Didn't get an invite for your boy?
Well, yeah, it's a bit tough to cram you in. I heard the appearance fees are going through the roof there, Daisy.
What's
so
20 grand between friends?
No, we had you doing the commentary. It was a bit unfortunate because you love your golf, and we had an outstanding, turnout.
Who won?
We had our man, Big Plugger Nolan from Riddles Creek, the boys, Sir James Nolan.
From your local footy club.
He's my good mate, Plugger.
This just reeks of a rort. This reeks of a rort.
Can I say, when you announce the winners like I did, everyone is filthy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you announce. Everyone's grumpy.
Do you know the score they shot?
I do. It was a net score of 52.5.
What's that, 20 under?
I don't understand it as much as you. That's the Northern Golf Club's job. Yeah. I said, you calculate the scorecards. Integrity's at the highest. And I did go back, great mate of ours, Jonathan O'Rourke. He was the group in front.
Okay.
And they bombed a couple, and they actually hit 2 eagles behind them. So he confirmed that. So when you're getting 2 eagles in a row, they were very they're very honest lads.
I'll tell you what you did do. I was seeing the socials. An activation on every hole, or close enough to?
Most of the holes had activations.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was
well done.
Thanks, mate. As I said, it was flat. You couldn't get there. But yeah, there's a lot of partners involved, and no one took the Ringwood Mazda home. We had the car there. No one got the hole-in-one. Maybe you can kick that off when we do the golf day later in September this year, because we need to see someone drive that home.
If I get it in, do I leave it there?
Anyway, you'd have to leave it there for the night, knowing you. But anyway, big shout-out to big boy Nolan in Riddles Creek. He's up and about. Come get your Milwaukee tools from mine, brother. I can't be bothered driving to Riddles Creek. There's a bit to cover today, mate, so we better get cracking. As we said, one of the most anticipated reunions, you and the Corn. Just a quick one off the top, just out of curiosity. But tell me how that beef actually came about again.
The beef came about because we were taking the mickey a little bit on Triple M about it. He made some comments about Tim Taranto, and this is going back a long time now, a couple of years. And he took aim at me, me and Tony Shaw, called me a part-timer, like ripped right through me. And of all the things he went me for, it was like get up early, do some preparation, watch some footy. And I was like, of all the things, mate, you could have said, stop drinking piss, go for a run, stop eating chocolate. The preparation and the watching footy part was the bits he missed on. So I took exception. We had some words, but, as we saw last night, there can only be one winner in round 0, and that was me. So early W. No doubt this isn't over yet, though.
It's a long year, mate. It's a long year. He might be buttering you up. You know when you give him a little easy kill and then you come next week smack and you just caught you off guard. So just make sure you don't bite into that. I'm just telling you, that's what they do. They sell you a little lemon there, mate, and you might be thinking, oh, he likes me. Next week he's just done all this research on some of the stuff that you said on Friday Night Football and goes bang. Anyway,
Are you alluding to the fact that what I said on Friday night was shit? No,
I'm saying if there is a moment where you just predict something and it doesn't happen, I'm just saying. I'm just humbling you, mate. I know you're the number 2 caller amongst Brucey McEnany. Excuse me, mate, at a field day. Old Benny Mac, he loved that one. Let's get going, though. Sydney was great. Oh, you were there Friday. I was there Sunday. It was just good to have footy back. But as you said, you're not a fan of opening round. I am. And now we move on.
Yeah, well, that's it. It was Friday night was a good game of footy. Bloody high standard. Skills were elite for, the first couple of games generally of the season. It's hot to start, then gets a bit scrappy, or it's scrappy and sorts itself out. Sydney and Hawthorn, great game of footy. The Hawks were really, really good. The Swans, pretty average when it counted, I thought, and especially late in the game. The Hawks, super professional. And then Sunday, the Pies, once again, they will be petitioning, like me, to scrap round 0 and them going up. That's a second year in a row they have not fired a shot. They were horrible.
They missed some easy goals, though.
Oh, but where they're having shots from in the first place, like how many entries they had and all of this jazz, it wasn't ideal.
I reckon Daisy Thomas with the blonde locks would have had a shot from a few of those spots.
100%.
And maybe put them through
that's the difference when you can kick them. Don't worry about
well,
where
anyway,
you get
we're going to get to opening round later on. Let's get to some latest news and general footy chat. But injuries, Lincoln McCarthy, the heart goes out to him. He's a great guy. And to do an ACL, just as he's probably about to return on the same leg, I just wanted to say a quick shout out because we're thinking of your brother, and I hate hearing ACLs. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
The injuries are stacking up, so heart goes out to the gun Lions forward. We know the injuries have been stacking up, but I tell you what's stacking up is head coach is extending. We've got 2. Breaking news, Rossi Lyon has extended to 2027. The Saints have said, we're happy with you, Roscoe. Here's another extension.
When did this happen?
This is breaking news. I've got, call me Tommy Schefter over here. But this is breaking news. I'm just hearing that he's been extended to 2027 about an hour ago, Daisy.
Okay, so Brad Scott, and I'm all for that. I think what he's done there at the Bombers, he's come in, he said, right, it's this way. He's sifted through a little bit of the shit and made it clear that it's going to be his side. And I love the stability after a couple of years of real instability from board level the whole way down. St Kilda becomes an interesting proposition now. I love Ross. I love what he does. I love the way he coaches. It's almost becoming free hit time in some sort of sense because who knows if they have the year that we're predicting, it's not going to end in finals, which is another one after last year that didn't end in finals. What are they accepting?
Well, we're going to get to that. I'll let you speak about it.
Was that a question I shouldn't have asked?
No, you're on them. I agree with you. It's like, do you want to see some performance first? But when you got a young list, it's going to be interesting. Let's just stay with Brad Scott first, though, because the breaking news I wasn't as prepared for. But there were some comments from James Hurd on Footy Classified. It was my belief he had a trigger in his initial contract and he either can't meet it or he didn't meet that.
So then out of a show of faith, the club have...
I think the club have, extended him, but I don't think it was a trigger that he earned is what I'm picking up. And they're putting down.
But that's okay. If they're still happy, if it was a wins trigger, and again, he came in the pre-season, you don't really have a full carte blanche, if you will, of what you can do. So I don't mind it. I love Brad Scott. I love the Scott boys and what they do. They're straight shooters. They're up and down. And the fact that he thinks they're on the right path, Essendon behind him, I like it whether it was a trigger clause or not.
I agree. I think you need to keep them there. And the worst thing you can have is a coach out of contract and everyone just going, do you think you're safe this year? Yeah. So I like it. The one thing that we've noticed, and another graphic here we've stolen, but it is North Melbourne 2.0. He has former roos at Essendon everywhere. And when you invest in, we're talking coach, GM, assistant coaches, even your psychologist, bloody player development, everything, strength and conditioning, they were all from the former club that he coached.
Okay.
He's brought them all across. So you have to extend a man and see it out when you've brought the whole football department across, don't you reckon?
Oh, I certainly agree. I think that it's just a good show of faith in the fact that they are happy with what he's doing, who they've brought across, and it's his way. It is his way, literally, or the highway. And if it is the highway, get your butt in a car, Jakey Stringer style, and get to the Giants.
Big one on the Donzo. What's a pass mark in your eyes?
I didn't have him in my 8, but they need to be winning some serious games of footy, playing in a manner and a style which is what they are going to put out publicly. A lot of the time they put these things out. I remember last year they said we've got an edge, and the edge became blunt pretty quickly. Yeah. It needs to be followed through for the entirety of the season. And look, if they make finals, I think that's an absolute pass mark, but competitive to give themselves a chance, is sort of where I lie.
That's the opening round. Just a quick word on the Giants Pies. Our man Toby Green, TFG Tuesdays, he was elite as per. He had some great insights, but he also said there was a clear athletic advantage against the Pies, whether it was a humidity or whatnot. And also, I want to remind you, and unfortunately, Wal's not here, but Finn Callahan, do you know his full name now? Do you understand why he was offered what he was offered? I'm hearing 1.8 a year, and he declined it.
$1 million bucks, no, $100,000, no, $1 million in a home loan was reported.
Really?
And low interest home loan, which I think is pretty illegal. But
I wouldn't want that myself.
to be honest, I didn't. And when this came out, I was like, good player, but I didn't and hadn't paid attention enough to what he'd done, but also I hadn't seen it in the manner that we saw it then. That was dominant on the weekend. That his best player or top handful midfielders in the comp. He was benefited by the fact that Tom Green wasn't in that side. And as a result, he took the absolute piss. Sometimes these things, they sit well and they elevate you, and sometimes they can bring you down. You don't think you're worth it. He has proved that he's going to be a star of the competition. I now need to see it again this week and next week, the week after and the week after that. But it was very well backed up what you said. You've started really well. Your tipping's on fire. Your insights are on fire.
Well, it's only 2 games, Daisy. Now we get the big one. There's 9 to pick from.
You're 2-2 and I'm 0-2.
I'll share a secret. I actually, on the app, I've only tipped 1. So I don't know what's happened there. But Pig Hibbard is sitting on top of the ladder in the tipping competition. Can you believe that? Pig's Paddock is tipped 2 from 2 like me, but I've made a mistake on the app. Anyway, there's a bit more to get to. The graphics gate. It's been talked about everywhere. People hate change. You watch the footy now. You've got to just somehow get the football in the background of these new scoreboards. Just a quick thought on it.
Well, I took the mickey on the Sunday rub on Triple M and got some pretty stern feedback. Whatever. I didn't watch it in the manner that a lot of people did. One of the networks seems to have a very big scoreboard, and ours being 7 is in the middle.
Mate, I'm a 7 man.
Do you like the
middle?
Got
the arse last year from my armchair, but that's all right. I'm still a 7 man.
That's like the Heater and Daisy show, mate. Onwards and upwards. The middle graphic.
Yeah.
At least that's somewhat palatable. The other one seemed, but again, I've got a lot of friends who enjoyed the other graphic because of how easy it was to see from all parts of Australia.
People, it's very polite there, Daisy, to call it. You're just not a big fan of Fox Footy. Competitors is what he's trying to say. I need Wally to just translate what you mean. Where's Muskie? We need him just to translate what you're saying. But people do hate change, let's be honest.
They do.
People hate change.
Yeah. And right, I'm a bit that way. I'm old school. I only got to internet banking as of 2 years ago.
Oh, boy.
I used to go into the bank to get cash
for the check?
Yeah.
That's a Connor's sports specialist, that.
Yeah, well, we can touch on that too.
Have you heard the latest? Christian Petrarca has left Connors Sports Management. I think his brother actually works there. And he has signed with Anna Scully, the wife of Eddie Betts. The reason, I believe, is because of more commercial opportunity with On Track, his cooking stuff. He's going to have to pay out somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000 over the next 5 years, so that's fine. Connor Sports Management doesn't lose there. I was managed by Paul. You were managed by Paul. Correct. And Mel, and we love Mel. She's actually in town. Shout out to Mel. But he has left. So the new manager's saying, we don't care about the footy contract. We're saying brand Petrarca is bigger than football Petrarca. Give me your thoughts on that.
I like it. The football side's locked away. Paul Connors and Robbie D'Orazio there at Connor Sports do an unbelievable job. If you want to be moved around or you want to get the best deal, they're your people. So I'm reading between the lines here, 5 years. I think that takes him to about 34 years of age. Still to go. Connors get their whack now. So for them, it's almost like thanks for everything. You know, last year would have been an absolute shit show to be a part of with everything that was going on. The injury, which was horrific, we know, and the club and all the turmoil there. So then he goes across to the wife of Eddie Betts, who also has Tyson Stengel, who is unbelievable in negotiating and relationships with these commercial deals. I think we're going to start to see more of this. More players exploiting is probably not the right words. Maximising. Absolutely. We're reading from the same.
In sync.
It was, yeah, which is scary for you to think you're acquiring at the same capacity as this thing. Maximising their ability to earn from different things. His social media is unbelievable. The cooking stuff, I'm not sure if you follow it, but I certainly do. And to where that goes, he's already got Red Bull, so whether that becomes a fit and the transition post-football, if he's sitting there cooking in the kitchen and getting paid for it, it's a lot easier than working 45 jobs in the media.
It's certainly a wake-up call, I think, to all managers. And you speak to all these people that are trying to become a manager. It's very hard because the big dogs have the whole market. So you've got to offer something else. And I think, you know, as we can clearly tell, Anna Scully, she's obviously offering a lot more away from the football contracts. And I'm pretty sure you should know. I know. I didn't get many deals. You would have got a lot, but it's 20% in the old skyrocket for the manager.
Correct.
So if they bring in, say, 100 grand, they get 20 grand. It's not a bad deal for them. So it's in their best interest to work hard. If you've got a big fish like Petrarca and all these other blokes, shouldn't be that hard, should it?
No, I like it. And if you've got good talent, as you say, it's easier to get the deals. But also there will be management companies now sitting up a little bit straighter going, okay, well, if we have that arm, as a few of them do, and, TGI, who I am with now, they're the big global, formerly TLA. They've got the all sorts of every department covered. So for the smaller fry who have only worried about football to some extent, no doubt they'll be taking note now about all access and all coverage.
Love it. Well, let's get straight into Ausmerican Aces housekeeping. You know we love our tipping competitions, the NRL and AFL tipping competition. It's live. Hey, if you like Daisy and you tip 0 from 2, there's a lot of you. I think there's 500 out of 1,000. Get into our tipping league because it's not all over yet. You're going to win some big prizes and we're going to announce them throughout the year. Signed jerseys, experiences, you name it. That's coming your way. We've also got the Supercoach League. We had a little bit of dramas last week, but it's live. Linktree at Ausmerican Aces on social media. The league code, if you're listening and just want to whack it in, it's 811019. I'll repeat, the league code, 811019. No excuses. Get in there. And as I said before, the tipping leader is the Pig's Paddock. And Daisy, Daisy, I got a hat for you. I left it in the car, but it's the one that says that's Puch. You should be wearing that if you tip 0 from 2 or 0 again. Righto, it's time. It's round 1, mate. It's finally here.
Yeah.
And it's your time to shine. You love round 1. You don't like opening round. Let's just start with a little bit of me time. Can you remember round 1 when you played and what was your best game or your best moment?
Oh, first year, round 1, Pig played Adelaide. I think it was a Tuesday night, something really weird. Kicked the first goal of the Pies season with my second kick of the game and then took a hangout about 5 minutes later in the first quarter and kicked a goal. Oh. So they're going, how easy is this?
Some blokes just get, they just kissed on the old fella.
Oh, yeah, just don't worry about the amount of ability. Yeah, no, it was purely luck, Tommy. Purely luck.
But it's a great start.
There was a great start.
Just the ball would have been popped up beautifully for you there.
Just snuck down in front of Shane Wakeland as well. So he'd come fat side. He'd just come on and he was about to launch for the first time in his career. I'm a young kid. He was filthy. Absolutely. We shared the lockout at 13, 14. He was behind me and all of a sudden up goes a little blonde bloke, bloody built like a garfish.
Well, mate, you see Kako now. Like that was you back in the day.
Round 1? Did you ever play round 1?
Yeah, it wasn't as nice as yours, but I actually remember one moment. It was against the Pies. I think it was 2014.
Mel was gone.
It just missed you, unfortunately. But I think Swanee just kicked a goal and I thought, I've got to do something here. It's time for the train to stand up. And I just went down and crumbed a beauty. And Bruce McEnany, man. But Bruce actually said, Sutcliffe's kicked a beauty. And I was you got to be kidding me. The one moment I get, he's called me Squeak Sutcliffe. So that's a memory. I think I had 5 tackles and we beat you by about 80, but I think I got dropped a couple of weeks later. So there's one.
That's technically 1-1 then. Yeah. You got called Sutcliffe and you called him Bruce McEnany.
Yeah. Bruce McAvaney, by the way. If you missed last week's podcast, there's no disrespect to the GOAT. There you go. Well, let's kick off round 1, mate. It's big. But before we get to round 1 and the game, Carlton, Richmond, there's a lot of discussion around the aura of a coach. It has been spoken about a little bit, but do you need it as a coach?
Who starting out in the coaching game has aura? Like Sam Mitchell, does he have aura?
Probably past players.
But even then, like as a coach, it's not coaching aura. It is reputational aura.
But do you need to have coach aura, player aura to have aura? Like isn't aura just aura?
It's a good point you raise, and you said aura a few times, so I got slightly confused. But like Craig McRae, for instance, part of the Brisbane three-peat, does he have aura because of that? No, but does he have an aura because of the calmness that he brings? Like it's a different type of aura. It's not that big masculine, I'm a tough bastard, look at me, I'm holding court in the room. So I think Adam Uze, whether or not he says he has aura or he doesn't, if he turns these kids into superstars and they start winning games, I tell you what, watch that big chest be puffed out and the aura will come. I don't think it's a thing, and I don't think just because some past players who have better stats in terms of Brownlow's premierships, that doesn't always equate to being the best coach. As we've seen, Nathan Buckley, Michael Voss, they've all had a couple of goes. Well, Michael Voss especially has had a couple of goes at it. He gets another turn and another go round at the Blues. But, for me, aura as a coach, mate, coaches are dorks, coaches are nerds, coaches are weird, and I stand by that, and I'll stand by that from when they start. to when they end like a Michael Malthouse. Love the guy, but you got to be a bit mad to be a coach.
I think they start all right. I think they turn weird once they get going.
You got to be a bit weird to sign up for it. Like, what a shit.
They
Like,
get paid pretty well. You know what I mean? They must see the bank balance and go, well, I wouldn't mind being a bit more of a weirdo. And the more weird you get, the more years you get, is what I'm understanding. So it's like
you can use that. You didn't mean that, but that's nice.
I reckon it's true though. You do see these assistants come in. What a good bloke he is. All of a sudden, he's lost the plot. You know what I mean?
It's fair enough. Yeah, no, I don't mind it.
Like, I remember Leon Cameron. This is a bit harsh of Leon, but he's a great man. But like, I've seen him in his most stressed, and then when he's out of the game at the shops about a year ago, and it's like you're talking to two different people,
100%.
And he's just so much more relaxed. He's a great guy. But I remember when he walked past once in rehab, I asked him what he did last night for dinner, and he couldn't remember because he was thinking about all the drills, and it took him about 25 seconds.
Who's this bloke asking me a question?
He's probably going, who is this peanut we've drafted? He hasn't been on the park all week.
What the fuck is the boot boy in the ice bath? Get out of there and clean the shoes.
I was on the ropes working like an absolute dog as well. I thought I'd ask him something. I'm in 30-second recovery. I'd ask the coach just one question so he'd talk to me. I hadn't spoken to him for 10 weeks and he couldn't even reply to my question, which was, what you have for dinner last night? Fuck yeah.
But I tell you, imagine having your phone ring at any stage. So we could be sitting here now and as a coach, you'd be, hang on, club. Yeah. Done his knee. Yeah. Jammed his finger in a door. Your day can be uprooted and genuinely rooted in the space of 3 seconds with a phone call.
Yeah.
Day or night, your phone rings, you be going, what now?
I reckon someone like Chris Scott looks very composed at all times, though.
Yeah, I agree. And I think he is very comfortable with how his side is run, how the whole organisation works. And I guess that's probably where you want to get to is the player-manager style, like the EPL rather than coaching. But, you couldn't pay me enough to be a coach unless it was 1.2 and then that'd be fine.
Well, there you go. I think Kane Corn's on aura. Michael Voss walked into a room, aura everywhere. Again, Brownlow medalist, 3-time premiership player.
It's not coaching aura, though.
That's what I'm talking about. It's a hard one, the aura. Let's go back to Uze, though. I think he's picking on an easy target, or whoever else said that he's got no aura. When have you seen a coach rebuild and win a premiership outside of Chris Fagan? He's the only one I can think of.
But again, that's the most recent example. So why wouldn't you be trying to someone emulate it? Well, the Brisbane Lions, 5 years ago, were shit.
2017, they were 18th.
What's that?
2018, 15th. And then he turned it around in 2019, second, 2020, second, 2021, fourth, 2022, sixth, 2023, second. Obviously lost that grand final. And then last year, they finished 5 on the ladder, which is 5th, and defeated Sydney in the grand final.
So 2017, they were last.
18th when he signed up.
Yeah.
And the next year, 15th. So, and I don't think they had much on the list. A complete rebuild, and I reckon somewhere in there, might have even been 2022 or 2023, they wanted his head, and they said he's not the man for the job. When has a coach been able to rebuild like Richmond are doing now, and then stand the test of time, and then bring home premiership?
I don't, and I said this before and on this show, I was concerned for Richmond. We shouldn't worry about the score this year. And to some extent, that's still factually correct, I believe, because they're going to struggle. But when you do a deeper dive, of which I have since then, I don't think it is going to be as far away as some may. You look at what Hawthorn did the end of 2022. So they obviously had the great success. They got rid of Roughhead, Lewis, and their Hodgie and all that. Crew retires. Then there's a little bit of a period where they were not sure. 2022, they go and flip out Jager O'Meara and Mitchell. At that point, they were quoted as saying, we make no secret of a clear strategy of getting games into our young players. Those young players were Warple, Newcomb, Day, Moore, Scrimshaw, CJ, Mitch Lewis. Luke Bruce was the only bloke there over 30. You look at the Tigs now, you've got Tom Lynch, Nick Loston, Brody,
Meatball,
Nank. Noah Bolter's not old when he gets back because he had the off-field indiscretion. But then you chuck it in with some of the kids. Mate, some of the kids that they've got the 3 debutants this year, Sam Lawler, pick 1, apparently meant to be the next Dusty, very good, hard in the contest, unbelievable skills inside forward 50. Luke Traynor, who's a key defender, 193 centimetres, pick 21. Harry Armstrong, key forward, 195 centimetres, pick 23. Then players still to come that they haven't got there who are going to be good players who they drafted. Josh Smiley picked 7, Taj Houghton picked 12, Jonty Fall, I think you pronounce it, 14, Tom Sims, 28, picked 28, and Jasper Elgar picked 58. Chuck that in with the kids who got to play at the expense of some of these kids going last year, Mansell, Ralph Smith, Campbell, chuck in Tom Brown. Like, it doesn't put that together in the right way. Tom Lynch kicking 40, 50 goals. I think I've mounted a decent enough case there that in the next couple of years, those guys are going to have to move on at some point. I understand that. But the evolution and what they can then bring in before Tassie comes in, that's the key thing. I don't think it may be as far away in terms of rebuild and horrificness as we might think.
Well said, mate. And I'd imagine they have a war chest of money at some stage in 2 years where they can go, let's do the Battle Barras and whoever else we want to get in and load up around these guys and let's have a crack at it.
And like, for instance, if Damari Ugle-Hagan gets moved on from the Bulldogs, as if you wouldn't be contemplating that as a full forward role.
You'd have to.
It's pretty, like, I understand that there's going to be some risk attached with what's happening, but my goodness, these are the options that they have coming forward and going to have going forward. I don't think it is going to be as gloom and doom. This year's going to be horrific.
Let's just start on doom and gloom. How much do you reckon they get beat by Thursday night?
There'll be an initial spike, but look, anything under 10 goals is probably acceptable.
That's 60 points.
50, 60 points. It's going to be a good night to be a key forward. If you know what it'd be like. If you're a small forward or a key forward here, you'd be going, oh boy, we're having 80 inside 50s and this thing is going to be coming in all ace out.
I just hope they're not down by like 50 at halftime. The line is 49.5. So,
and that's gone out from 48.5.
There you go. So I think it'll continually go out unless the weather looks great. So that's.
Do you think they can be competitive?
I think Tim Taranto and Hoppers and all that kind of stuff.
So you can chuck him in the mix as well.
I think they'll get smacked. Unless
after halftime, or you think it'll be over pretty early?
I think it'll be over pretty early.
Okay.
Carlton looks slick in pre-season.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Well, I asked that, mate. I said, just give me something on Cripps. And, geez, they gave me something. Cripps' record versus the Tigers is actually pretty ridiculous. He averages 32 in his last 9, and he's covered 30-plus in 7 of them.
32 in last 9 and that's 7 times.
30-plus.
Oh.
And if there's a time to get 30-plus, he just won a Brownlow last year, didn't he?
What an absolute... Mate, there's some sides that you go, look, I'm in for a good one here, but those numbers are complete and utter ridiculousness.
$1.85 for 30-plus on PointsBet.
Do it responsibly, of course, but that is a peach from our good friends at StatMate.
It is a peach. Let's move forward to the Hawks and Bombers Friday night game. Can you see an upset here? Can the Bombers beat the Hawks?
They can, and I'm going to be tipping them. I think they're a really nice outsider. Hawks very good, nothing to knock there. A little bit of the unknown still for me on the Bombers, but Brad Scott, he has got this side, and you saw it a little bit in preseason. We figured out on the weekend that preseason form doesn't mean too much because the Giants got whooped a couple of times and then were very good. However, the fact that Brad Scott has had it his way, he's got the system going, he's got the edge, the hardness, and I hope we see it. This is a big chance to blow up in my face, and the Bombers have let me down plenty of times before, but I'll give them a decent shot for this one, and I think they could be winning an absolute belter in a close one.
I think the Hawks will just win, but I reckon it'll be very competitive. Yeah. And I would love to see the Dons win, but I'll tip the Hawks just. What are you most excited about by that one? Is it Kako?
Kako is going to be a big talking point. Nate Caddy, but also what's Hawthorn do again? And I can't wait. I tell you what, I'll be certainly pretty keen to look at is the unders on Will Day. There's no way he's running around by himself for a half. James Sicily as well, I'd imagine, would have somebody very close to him. So there's a couple that, if you are manufacturing and putting together a same-game multi that you may just want to have a little think about.
We'll have a think about Nick Martin as well. StatMate said he's averaging 26.3 disposals at the G last season, and he's eclipsed 25 in 7 of his last 8 at the venue. Loves space. Will they put time into him? Can play anywhere. Has been playing a little bit forward. Just watch it, but he is a star, and there's going to be perfect conditions. Righto, we moved through the games this weekend. We've identified 2 games that we love. I've identified my boys, the Fremantle Dockers taking on the Cats.
Down at GMHBA, 37 degrees, and you think they win?
I have Fremantle winning this game. If they are serious, and I think they have top 4 all over them. It's one of the specials, I believe. Their midfield is one of the best midfields in the league. And if they're going to seriously get it done this year, they have to knock off Geelong, who I think have got a lot going on. I don't know if their midfield is their strongest at the moment. Dangerfield, we know he's a beast, but he might be just starting forward. He might come in and out. But come on, you've got an unbelievable midfield. Jackson will be ruck. You've got Brayshaw. You've got Sarong. They've all signed up.
Amos forward.
You've got Amos. You've got Tracy. You got some gun. The defense is rock solid.
It is now.
And they've won. In 2022, they won down there. In 2023, they won down there. Why can't they win when they're all fit and available? Their preseason form's great. They need to stop Jeremy Cameron. The Dockers will win this week.
I agree with you. I've tipped the Dockers as well in this one. There's no real reason to go against the Cats, but I have. And for the reason that I said, and I think that Freo are going to finish higher on the ladder. That means they have to win more games. They have to beat sides who will be around them. Geelong will be one of those, but Freo for me as well. And the hot conditions is a big tick. Freo, Dick Tracy told us in an interview on Triple M that I said, do you train earlier to combat the heat? He said, no, we are pushed out in the heat, the middle of the day to harden us. I love that shit.
He's hard as nails, big Dick Tracy as well.
And guess what? Country boy.
You know that Profit Propeller? I've locked one in on this game.
What is it? Your leg.
A miss. We'll kick 2.
Don't a miss.
Don't a miss. I need you to kick 2, King. He's going on my bet for the Profit Propeller.
Oh, yes.
230 points better giving us. I needed $2. They gave me a little bit more juice. $2. He doesn't miss. He will be kicking 2. So lock him in for my little bet for the Profit Propeller, which we're getting to later in that program. We'll skip the next game because Mitchie Wallace will be covering that one and he'll be covering the one after. That is the grand final rematch and the Doggies v North.
How many times is he going to text in?
I know, he's hot, isn't he?
Ready to go.
He's going, hurry up, boys.
Calm down, bro.
What's he got at dinner? There's a bit going on up there in Noosa. Well, he's coming up at the end. We get to the Pies and Port Adelaide. This one will be at the G. Quick tip on that one.
Pies with little confidence now.
I think they will bounce back. I'm going to go the Pies. I think they'll be fine.
Very confident in Nick Dacos having 35 or more.
Poor bastard. We've all cramped before, but just unfortunately, he's the best player in the league.
As if Kenny's not sitting there going, oh, Kane, can you not poke the bear? The bloke's unbelievable.
Hey, they'll tag him, though. They've got Drew's not a bad tagger. So
Drew is a good tagger if you're strong.
Yeah,
Nick Dacos is nimble and fast. I hope Drew goes to him for that point that I just made of 35 plus.
We are going to get to Wall for those 2 games we skip, but let's keep moving. Adelaide hosting St Kilda at Adelaide Oval.
Real non-event, but Adelaide for me.
Yeah, I expect Adelaide.
On a round of very good football, I don't think that is a real highlight game, but Adelaide for me.
This one's tough. D's hosting the Giants. The D's will be rock solid. I'll be sticking with my boys, the Giants. But that midfield, Petrarca and Oliver, look fit. It's going to be won or lost in there.
Yeah, I like the Giants. I'm waiting to see what Melbourne does. If Petrarca and Oliver can reproduce or get close to where they were, still big concerns for me over that forward line of the D's and where the goals are going to come from. Giants for me.
And Daisies must watch the last game. We love a 6:10 Sunday night. It is West Coast hosting the Gold Coast Suns. You have been red hot on the Suns. They must win this. The bookies are somewhat confident at $1.57.
Yes.
Quick thoughts on this game, Daisy, before we go to our man, Wall, who just will not stop blowing up the WhatsApp. He's just ready to go.
Well, the line goes up 12.5 here. You can have the start for West Coast. I think the Gold Coast Suns cover that. If they are going to be taken seriously this year, and this is what I'm big on, you have to start making statements. It's a away game. They lost this fixture away last year by 10 points late in the season. They beat them at home last year, the Gold Coast Suns, by 37 points earlier in the season. This is a West Coast side that peeled off 5 wins, 1 draw and 18 losses last year. They can't have improved that much. I think the Gold Coast Suns, if they are going to play finals this year, as I have predicted, they need to go over there. A couple of injuries. Slightly concerned. They should be winning 24 plus.
Oh, boy, you'd want the Suns to get going, mate, because you've been big on them, and you'll look like a fool if they lose this game, but if they win, you're off to a flyer.
Look like a fool. Well, that's the whole industry, isn't it? You put them out there, and sometimes you get it right, and I'll tell you what else I look like a fool. The old Profit Propeller. I'm starting on Thursday night footy. I could blow this thing up.
Are you going
Thursday night footy?
Daisy, we said start on the weekend. You're going to put your plums on the line Thursday night.
I thought, this is me time. Round 1 is Daisy time. Adam Chera, 25 plus, a nice even $2. Adam Chera Thursday night to have 25 or more perfect conditions. Cripps may get the tag. He would just have a heap of it.
Oh, that's actually not bad. 25 potties for two.
It's either all over and you've got another 6 days to think about rinsing me, or the pressure just starts to build as we get later on in the weekend. This is what the Profit Propeller is all about.
I can't wait. And we're going to be spinning the propeller soon. We have the butler in the building. Can you see the butler out the back? He's going to be bringing the Profit Propeller. And we are going to name the 14 that we have picked, the best entries that were on the board. They're on the board, ready to go. And we're going to get to Wal now, though, because we need to get his tip on the Profit Propeller and the Dogs and North, plus his feature game, the grand final rematch. So let's go straight to Wal on Noosa. I've heard he's been having the rig out, just getting down the main parade there. Wal, we've got you live from Noosa. How are you, great man?
I have been getting the rig out, Tommy, but I'm the only one with the rig out because I'm the only one on the beach because it's been pissing down rain. But look, I'm glad to be here. It's great to see you, Tommy. Obviously, I did tune in Sunday afternoon, watch the GWS versus the Collingwood Magpies, and I must admit, I could not get your mug off my screen. A lot of screen time for you and Dane up in the, was it the President's Luncheon or the President's Box that you're in?
Who are you with?
It was the KPI Construction boys, just had the box there, Prime, Rama, obviously cousins with Swanee, and me and Swanee were actually watching the UFC, the Storm, the Giants. It was just a super Sunday, if you ask me. I had no idea we were on there, though. But, well positioned next to one of the greatest players of all time.
Well, what's the humidity like up there, mate? Judging by your hair, pretty high.
Oh, mate. It's about 200%, Daisy, because the sun's out for about the first time in about 3 months here. So, look, I'm actually, it's good to see you, Daisy. And I know you've had your battles, but you and Corn have made up. The Corn,
we touched on this off the top, mate. Nothing to see here. 1-0 to Daisy already. We move on from that. We move on. In serious note, it has been raining up there. Is everything all good? We were obviously concerned for our people up north and all the loyal fans there. Is it all good? Have we got through the worst of it?
I think we've definitely got through the worst of it. Look, the aftermath will still ring true for another couple of weeks. There's a lot of water about. I don't know in particular. Noosa, where we're staying, didn't really get the worst of it until Sunday night. So different areas experienced different amount of rainfall and wind. But from our family's perspective, the wedding's going ahead, which is a really good thing. There was 500 mils at the destination where the wedding's meant to be. So I have packed my gumboots and flippers, to get through the ceremony. But look, it's pretty serious. There was a lot of homes without powers and people displaced from their homes. So hopefully that's rectified quite quickly. And it's an ongoing monitoring sort of thing that hopefully the people are all okay.
We're going to get your thoughts on some footy in a minute. But last one about the wedding. Obviously, the father of the bride is Anthony William Brownless. Are you concerned as to what he's going to do, how he's going to act, and what he's going to say? Obviously, he has to deliver a speech at some stage.
We've got about 5 or 6 contingency plans for Bill.
Does one involve a taser?
A taser. No, but we're probably going to get him speaking first so we can put his 3 or 4 words together because I know he loves a beer. And I also have got a nice big bowl of scotch placed in front of him as well because I'm hoping for a big output from him.
Oh, very good, lads. Very good. Very jealous. Well, let's get straight to the footy. We've saved 2 games for you, Wal. You've got a must-watch and you're a Doggies man. So let's start off with the Dogs v North Melbourne. This one will be Saturday night at 7:35 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. Wal, you're going to break this down for us. What do you got for us?
Yeah, and this is becoming a really watchable game. Obviously, North on their journey, quite a mature side, but showed some promising signs last year. But they've got the Dogs, probably the most vulnerable that they've been in the last few years. We've talked at length about their injuries, and none bigger than the captain, Marcus Bontempelli, who hasn't missed a game since 2018. So you add no Treloar in that mix, who's going to shoulder that load in the midfield? Hopefully Ed Richards is back from his little niggle, and Riley Saunders, who was a really highly touted draft pick, didn't probably get the exposure last year that a lot of Bulldog supporters wanted, but I think he's going to put up his hand and have to play a big role if it was going to fall the way of the Dogs. We've got the return of Bailey Dale, which is obviously a really important cog in the Bulldogs machine, really important to our ball movement as well. But again, the question marks are where the goals are going to come from. We've touched on Dramara and his absence. He had a return of 40 goals last year. And Cody Waitman, who, North has been his bunny side over the past 3 or 4 years with him kicking 6 on a couple of occasions. So, look, we saw Lachie Neale bob up in the practice match and kick a couple of goals. I think he kicked 4. And, you know, it's going to come down to Sam Darcy and Aaron Norton being able to kick a bag. I think if we go to the North point of view, what I'm most excited about is watching their new recruits. None bigger than Caleb Daniel, who, you know, I'm going to touch on the Profit Propeller, unfortunately.
I heard Profit Propeller.
On the first one.
Is that one of your little locks there for the Propeller?
It is one of my locks. Caleb Daniel, who, you know, from our great mates at PointsBet, are offering $2 for 27 or more disposals. Now, I think that's a lock. You know, he was over 30 in the practice matches, and he's just a ball winner and an accumulator, and he's so damaging by foot. And look, it's going to be interesting to see what the Dogs do to try and, you know, contain his influence. And then if you go down to the forward line, we've got Jack Darling, hopefully, you know, helping shoulder that load from Nick Larkey, who is my tip to win the Commonwealth medal this year. But without, you know, the key in Jones, who is the sort of the marshal down there, it's going to be interesting to see how they shape up. And I think Larks is in for a big day.
Are you concerned at all? And also, who's that in the background?
Who's in the background, Wob? You got some guests.
Yeah, that's my lovely wife who's getting ready for the wedding that's upcoming.
Ask her what she thinks of Caleb Daniel. I want to get alive. How many stats she reckons he's going to have?
31. That's a lock. Yeah, 31.
30. We've got 4 to play with there. Well, that's very nice. We might need them just for the heart rate late.
I did time that quite well, actually. But back to where we're off topic a bit there, but we'll go back to Lukey Parker, obviously. You know, adds a lot of grunt through that midfield, and I think his experience, you know, it's a big game. It's round one. I think he's going to take it up to the Bulldogs on balls, and then I think throughout the year we're going to have some Sheasel watch, I should say. He's a star, and his output.
Sheasels?
A sheesh or we sheasel? Are you gonna?
Well, mate, say it 4 times fast, Tommy. There you go.
Sheasel.
That's what you're there for, Wal. Give us a tip for this one so we can speed through to the next one, because if we break these down, you're breaking it down very nicely. We need your tip, margin, and we'll move on to the grand final rematch, which is next.
The Dogs will win in an arm wrestle, I think 14 points.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
And Sammy Darcy's going to kick 4.
Well, nice. Good luck getting it up there, big fella, because that midfield is absent. But anyway, we'll digress and get into the big one, the must-watch. The grand final rematch in Sydney. Talk to us about that. Give us a couple of tips, things you like, and we'll get this show on the road into the Profit Propeller next.
I tell you what, it clearly hasn't been good weather up there, because all you've done is research. You're meant to be on the beach. You've gone through a list of every player that's ever played for both clubs.
It's great research.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited, mate. I'm talking about my old mob. I've got to give them a pump up.
I know, but they're going to get absolutely smacked.
I'm going to dive straight into this.
King.
I'm going to dive straight into this grand final rematch. Shit, we're derailing here. No, but look, last week, obviously it's Brisbane versus Sydney, and Sydney got touched up last week. Minus 14 in clearances and minus 12 in contested possession. So they'll beat up around the contest. Look, what did work for them was their response in the third quarter, you know, led by sort of Warner and Blakey off the halfback. I think they really started to provide some drive, and they got back to level pegging, but they just need more from others because, you know, relying on blokes like them, it's just not sustainable. McCartan, we touched on this, whether he's going to, you know, Daisy was saying that he doesn't deserve to be forward, but he did show that he probably needs to lead a bit more. Look, he's very comfortable in the one-on-ones, the jostling, but for them to kick a winning score, you know, he needs to hit the scoreboard, but also learn to lead and learn to lead at the leg with some of the pace and the run that the Sydney midfielders and backline.
Who wins and why?
And let's talk about last year's. What was that, sorry?
Who wins and why?
No, I got a little bit more to go.
You turned this 3-minute segment into 33. Well, we'll be here till bloody next Monday.
Yeah, the game
the weather must be horrific out there, Daisy.
The game will be bloody live by the time you're done speaking.
You can just see the private schoolboy. There's thorough research, Daisy, not just copying your mate next to you in the exam.
Hey, ChatGPT, tell me about Brisbane Sydney.
That's bullshit.
Oh, we've rattled him. We've offended him. No, keep going, Wal. Keep going.
Well, obviously, it'd be remiss not to mention the cyclone because it probably has affected, whether it's a positive or a negative effect on the Brisbane Lions footy team. You have to think about them and their families and who's been affected within their circles. But, you know, you expect the midfield dominance from Neil, Dunkley, Ashcroft and McCluggage. But we do have to consider the topic of life without Joe. You know, who's going to kick their goals. I think Hipwood, who, you know, it's sort of yes and no sometimes maybe with him in the past. So I think he really needs to step up and take responsibility to command that forward line. And I did read that Charlie Cameron kicked 9 goals too, so actually took the piss in the intra-club match that they had on the weekend. So, look, I reckon they're going to be raring. I reckon they're going to win quite comfortably.
Charlie Cameron kicked 9 goals, 2 in an intra-club.
Yeah,
who was playing on him?
I heard it was ones v twos, and that bloke in the twos might not be getting a game.
I was going to say, if it was ones v ones, we'll find out who's playing small forward for Sydney and have the bloody lot.
It's a little confidence booster. It's like the longest yard, little pickup game. All right, well, can you just give us a tip for that one?
Yeah, Lions will win comfortably. I reckon they'll be 6-goal winners. They're just too strong for that midfield, and the forwards are too dominant.
There you go. Sydney will be 0-2. Well, mate, that's all we've got. All the best at the wedding. Thanks for just Skyping in here or whatever the link's called. And, mate, we can't wait to have you back in the studio next week. Good luck with your bets with the Profit Propeller, 27+ for Caleb Daniel. And what are you laughing at?
No,
Daisy?
I'm just wondering, are you doing a speech?
I am doing a speech.
Oh, we need to get a copy of this. We need to get a copy of this and review it in depth.
It'll be half as long as what I've dished out today.
So 4.5 hours.
We might need we might need the little hard drive there just to load it on. Jeez, you didn't like that, did you? When we were trying to just hurry you up. Well, mate, go well at the wedding.
Hey,
and
who's in the background now?
You've got something in the background. You need to attend to.
I've got half my family in here.
Yeah.
No, I hope you guys fumble through the rest of the show.
Well, this is the end of it. So
it's very hard because I can see the butler at the back and he's spinning the propeller. He's just warming up with the propeller. So, well, we better go, mate. But as I said, to you and the family, we hope you have the best day, best weather, and good luck with the speech. We'll see you next week right here in the studio.
Appreciate it, man. Have fun.
Well, thanks for that. Well, it's time for the Profit Propeller just around the corner there, Daisy. But before I get to it, I know that Profit Propeller hits different, but AFL hits different, just like the PointsBet app. Now with faster design, AFL bet trackers to follow every disposal, each player's last 5 stats, plus video previews for AFL experts. This is betting made for true footy fans. Download the app now. PointsBet, built different. I can see the butler out the back. Let's get him in here, guys. It's time for our favourite segment, the Profit Propeller, the first ever spin on the propeller. There's 14 local football clubs getting a chance at our 4-leg multi. We're going to have $1,000 on it. You must be 18+. You must be a Victorian local footy club. We don't know who it is. We're going to find out now. Let's bring in the butler.
We're excited. How many entries? My goodness.
There's thousands of entries, but there's only 14 lucky football clubs. It's time to bring the butler out. Get out of here, King.
Get out of here.
Yeah, have a look at the butler.
Me. Oh, Jimmy.
Have you anything to say there, butler? Oh, he's got nothing. He's playing his role perfectly. Well, congratulations to these 14 football clubs. They were the best entries, and we are going to read them out one for one. So listen for your football club. Hopefully, this is you. Daisy, kick us off.
Port Arlington Football Netball Club.
Wow. Port Melbourne Colts.
Newcombe Power Football Netball Club.
Riddles Creek Football Netball Club.
Sunshine Football Club.
North Gippsland Football Club.
Greenvale Jets.
Glen Ira Griffins.
Narry Warren Magpies.
Marupna Cats.
Chadstone Demons. Chadstone.
Oh, Demons. Club. Oh, boy. Avondale Heights.
Druin Footy Club. That's my old joint.
Bang. And Churnside Park Football Club.
What a bloody delight.
That is our 14 that start on the propeller.
Whoever we spin on, the president picks a leg.
Or representative.
Or representative.
We will give them a call off the form they filled out. We'll call them live. There's a required time for them to get back to us, Daisy. They will submit their bet that has to be over $2. We have ours. We just heard from Wal. He's locking in Caleb Daniels, 27+. I've got Jai Amos for 2, and you've got Chera Thursday Night Football for 25. And they are going to pick one. And if we can get it up, they get all the cash. We'll have 1,000 on it, courtesy of our friends at PointsBet. All right, well, guess what? You are the one that's going to spin the wheel. Hey, Butler, can you just crouch down a little bit, mate? We want to see this. Oh, look at the butler there. Now, give it a real good spin, Daisy. Here we go. It's time for the Profit Propeller is going. Here it goes, the propeller. And the winner is, Daisy, read out the club.
Come on, here we go. Newcombe Power Football Netball Club.
Bang! Newcombe Power Football Netball Club. Done. It's your time to shine on the Profit Propeller.
Here we go.
Get him on.
Matty.
How are you?
Yeah, well, thank you. We got to, for legal purposes, tell you that you're live on a podcast. But congratulations from Tommy Sheridan and myself, Daisy Thomas, and all the crew at American Aces and PointsBet. Your side has been spun up, and you are going to be the first to go as part of the Profit Propeller this weekend.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
We saw on the entry form that you guys are trying to get some gym equipment.
Yeah, we are. Yep. So we had a gym built about 5 years ago, but COVID stuffed up all our money situation at the time. So we've been really struggling since then, Daisy, to get it off the ground.
Well, hopefully we can help you out. The pressure is all going to be on to you or a representative to come up with the $2 leg to finish off the multi. We'll tell you the multi so far. Who's your team, by the way?
Geelong.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you'll have some interest in that match. I'm starting it off, so this could all be done by Thursday night. Adam Chera, 25 or more in the Thursday night fixture against the Tigs.
Yeah, good.
Okay, thank you. Tommy?
Yeah, you won't like mine, mate. I've got Jai Amos against your mob to kick 2 at 2:30.
I can take that. That's all right.
We can take
And
that.
Mitchie Wallace, who's sunning his plums up there in Noosa, he's taken Caleb Daniel 27 plus in his first outing for North.
Fair call.
Fair call.
So, mate, what we're going to do is we're going to call you back afterwards on FaceTime once we conclude this show, and you are going to give us your $2 leg off the PointsBet app, and we're going to cook up the first week of the Profit Propeller for your club, Newcombe Power Football Netball Club, and hopefully bring you the brand new gym equipment so you can compete with the big boys.
You beauty. Thank you very much.
All right, Matty. Well, take care and answer the call in about 20 minutes.
See you, mate.
Matty sounds like a great fella, and that sounds like a club that needs us to go 4 from 4. And that's what it's all about here.
The pressure just got real, didn't
The
it?
pressure's on you because if you're done, I mean, how good of a bloke's Matty? You would hate to just go out. Poor Adam Chera actually has more pressure on him than Daisy, I think. Well, it is now time to get to your challenge as we round out the podcast. But you have a little challenge for us with the propeller. Look at the butler there. His arms are getting. He plays the role well, doesn't he? The butler.
He's sweating bullets.
Anyone
the big
watching
boy.
the show on YouTube, the butler has been superb.
You know
just
what
holding
we could
that
do? We could actually get a mannequin, but a real person will do for now. Just a challenge, a friendly challenge between now and next week to come up and find the biggest celebrity in your phone or biggest contact you can get to give a nice little video promoting the Profit Propeller.
I like it. It'll have to be someone outside of AFL, I'd imagine.
Well, just the biggest name you've got. If it's in the AFL world, we'll probably laugh at you because that's quite boring.
Okay. Challenge is on.
You like it?
I do like it. I'm interested to see. How about we save the videos for next week and we submit them so we watch them live?
I like it. I like that a lot. So there's probably no punishment, but just a good way to promote the Profit Propeller.
The good news as well, Daisy, is the American Aces multi and the PointsBet app obviously gamble responsibly, but you'll be able to get on the Prophet Propeller Aces AFL show as well. So we'll put that up on our little custom tab there on American Aces /PointsBet, and you can gamble responsibly and jump on so that you can cheer this puppy on all weekend. And our team from Newcombe.
They come off now?
They come off. Take it off afterwards, though, because we've taken our time with that board. But they come off. So there's a slot there for a club that wasn't read out that we'll reveal next week. Lastly, Monday headlines, things you'd love to see on the front or back page of the paper Monday. What's yours?
I'm going to go with Don's start season on fire.
Boy.
Imagine the Essendon faithful if they can roll the Hawks, who were unbelievable. Friday night footy, big stage. I know it's a big ask, and I know the Hawks are going to be favourites for a reason. But that would be a nice way to get some real energy in the AFL to start. What do you got?
I've got North leap to victory and Larky kicks 5.
Upset victory against the Dogs.
No defence.
tell you
North
what.
at $3. I'm going to have a little play on that.
Okay.
Obviously, gamble responsibly, but I like the value there. It's the best value of the weekend, in my opinion. The North Melbourne Kangaroos.
Luke Beveridge will come for you if you keep tipping against him too.
That's all right. As long as he doesn't stay, as long as he stays away from our man Caleb Daniel, and we can go 4 from 4.
Very good.
That's all I've got. Round 1 in the can. Can we do it? 4 from 4, the Profit Propeller. And to everyone else on the board, good luck next week. There's one slot there. We will reveal who that is on social media, I think Tuesday next week. Otherwise, it'll be on the show. Stay tuned for more. Thank you to everyone that tuned into the Aces AFL show. Hit that subscribe button. Send this to a mate that loves their footy. And as always, Daisy, thank you for your time. We'll see you next week right here on American Aces.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.